Hey, yo, everybody, how you doing? Hey, yo, the Philadelphia Eagles, the #1 team in the National Football Conference right now. Tied for the best record in the NFL.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Oh, yeah, I know. One game at a time. I know.
One game.
Everyone's telling me to take it one game at a time, but then they're also asking me what they think the Eagles' record's going to be by the end of the year. So it's like hypocrisy.
Don't look ahead. Don't look ahead, because if you look ahead from your couch, you may jinx it. I don't think so. This is the real deal. And the real deal, the reason why this is the real deal, and you can enjoy this, enjoy the process, because you have a franchise quarterback. That's the main reason why. And I don't talk about Super Bowl. I'm not focused on Super Bowl.
S word.
The S word. I'm focused on winning a division and getting a bye week. Now, this is very, very, very possible. Very, very possible. But it has to start Sunday. You got to win on Sunday. Sunday is the key, in my opinion.
Yeah. I've been trying to figure out how I want to say what I want to say. Because I don't think it's – I've said it correctly the last couple videos, but I figured it out. And I'm going to just kind of wing it and just see if it comes out. So – I feel like the NFL is going through a transition period. We're seeing Tom Brady's older. Peyton Manning has retired. Drew Brees is older. A lot of these guys are older. Big Ben. This reminds me of 1999 when you had a changing of the guard. John Elway retired. You know, Denver had just won back-to-back Super Bowls. All the other quarterbacks from the 90s were getting older. Steve Young, Troy Aikman. And what happened in 1999? That was like the most parity we've ever seen in the NFL. The Rams won the Super Bowl, and that was the worst of their three teams that they had under Kurt Warner. The Titans came out of nowhere. They went 8-8 the year before. They went 8-8 for like 8 straight seasons, because that's what Jeff Fisher does. He goes 8-8 every year. So you had those two teams, and you had just a bunch of craziness that year. 2008. This reminds me of this season too. Because what happened in 2008? Tom Brady went down in week 1, and it opened up everything for the rest of the league. So we're seeing a situation here where I don't think there is an elite team in the NFL. Any other year, this Eagles team would be maybe 2nd, 3rd, 4th best team in the NFC. This year, they're the best because I don't think the competition is there. And I think that's kind of where we're going here. There is an opening here, and we have to seize this opportunity. It's opened up. All right? You got to beat Washington first. But by God, they have 1 loss, and this schedule is not looking difficult at all.
No, I agree. I agree, especially with the Aaron Rodgers injury. That changed a lot, because what I like to do is I like to think about January playoffs in Philly. Who would scare me coming into Philly? Who would the Eagles struggle against? I think they could beat Seattle at home. I think they could beat Atlanta at home. But the one guy, the wild card, the one guy that could come in and explode was always Aaron Rodgers. Now, you take him out of it, I don't think Green Bay is a threat to even put themselves in a position to make the playoffs. I really think they're going to struggle. So Seattle, as we both know, Seattle is they kind of a funny team, because they're the type of team might get hot later. The Rams look like they're better than we thought, but this is as wide open as I can remember in a long, long time. And because you have Wentz, and I believe because he's a real deal, I believe that this team is got a shot to do some special things this year. I don't know what that means. I mean, it's one game at a time, though. But this is probably the most exciting that I think it's been in a long time. If you put Bradford on this team, if you put Vic on this team his last few years with the Eagles, if you put Foles as a starting quarterback, I wouldn't believe that the Eagles could go far. But because of Wentz, I believe that this team has a real shot. A real shot.
I agree. And I'm 100% in agreement with you there. Because that's why I'm excited. It's him. I'm seeing him develop 7 touchdowns in less than a week. We're seeing him grow right in front of our eyes. He's got the deep ball down now. He's doing everything that you can ask a second-year guy to do. I mean, Hell, he might be having the best second year for a second-year guy since like Dan Marino when he threw 49 touchdowns, set a record back in, what was that, 1984? I want to say
83 or 84, yeah.
So
yeah.
he's on pace to throw 35 touchdowns.
Derek Carr had a good second year, I believe, too.
32.
But I don't think they were that good, though, right? I don't even think they were a playoff team that year.
No, they weren't. No.
So, I mean, with the Eagles' defense, too, I mean, the defense is playing good. The defense is good. And when you get that defense and you get a quarterback, that's a recipe, a good recipe for playoff football. You know what I mean? Then you got a guy like Blunt. In the playoffs, when it's cold, you use Blunt more. I mean, they're really set up perfectly here. They really are. And there's a lot to be excited about. I just think that this game this week is a hard game. It's a very hard game. Washington scares me because they're a division opponent. They know the Eagles. If you get through this game, you basically have a 2.5 game lead on Washington. Mm-hmm. Dallas is without Elliott possibly for 6 games. When we play them, I don't sweat Dallas. I don't sweat anybody in this division. So, yes, my goal, and I think a reasonable expectation that people shouldn't be scared to talk about, is a 1 or 2 seed with a possible, the possibility of getting a bye week. I think that's fair.
And, going back to, like, the elite versus great thing, like, the reason why I don't think there's an elite team in the NFL, I watch all the games, and I just see weaknesses on every roster. I don't see a roster where it's all well-rounded and there's no weaknesses whatsoever. Every team has one. And, I don't know if you agree with me. At the end of the day, I would still probably take the Patriots this year to win the Super Bowl because that's just who I would trust. I know their defense stinks, but that just shows that this year is different. The fact that I would still take the Patriots, they are down this year. They are not the same Patriots team. They got rid of Jamie Collins. Last year they traded him. Chandler Jones was traded. So they're kind of going through a little transition with their defense, and they're giving up a lot of big plays. But it's things are really opening up, and I said it. 1999 is the year this reminds me of. 2008 was the year that we had our best chance to get to a Super Bowl, to win a Super Bowl. I thought 2008, and out of all the NFC Championship games that the Eagles went to, that team was the worst one of them all. But they almost won it all because sometimes that's just the way the year sets up. Some years are stronger than others. 2004, we probably saw one of the best teams of all time in the Super Bowl. That 2004 Eagles team would cruise through this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And look who they went up. I mean, they went up against a great team that year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it does depend on things. I mean, you take when the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl with like the worst quarterback ever, right? Yeah. And they were able to because of the defense and because of who they went up against. So yeah, I mean, it totally depends on it.
And that 2000 season, that's another season. You had that kind of couple years of transition where you had teams just kind of emerge, and I think that's kind of what's going to happen this year. Like we talk about the Seattles, we talk about the Atlantas, but it might be another team that kind of comes out of the woodwork, comes out of nowhere, and is your 2 seed in the conference, kind of like 1999. It was your 1 and 2 seeds were the Rams and the Bucs, Tampa Bay. It just out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's going to be a team that is streaky, that gets on a hot streak. That's the team that you're going to have to be concerned about. Now, all the teams that really worry me are AFC. England, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. Those are the teams that would bother me, but we don't see them till the Super Bowl. So you don't have to worry about them. I'm not scared of the Saints. I think their defense stinks. I'm not scared of Arizona, even with Adrian Peterson. Plus, we beat them. We beat Carolina. We have an advantage on these teams. I think that the 2 teams that probably right now concern me the most would be Seattle and Washington, because Washington plays us. Washington has had success on us, and you never know with a division team. So that's why this game is so important. That this Monday.
Yeah, Washington has a really good defensive line right now. You know, they drafted Jonathan Allen, having Matt Ioannidis really step up for them. Temple product, TU baby. So that defensive line is really good, and that team is sneaky good and kind of flying under the radar. I am scared about this game, but you know we'll see. I don't like the fact that you know they're going to be getting the ball out quick, and that's kind of what we struggle with. So you know they match up well with us, but I think we win. God, I'm scared. Really. They have to know, like, geez, we have a legit opportunity right now. Like, they can't screw this up.
No, and that's where you got to look at the quarterback, right? The quarterback in college, even though it wasn't, you know, top college, it wasn't the SEC, they still won. What? How many championships did that team win back to back? Like 4 or something like that, 4 or 5. So he's been in a position of winning and handling winning. So I trust him to be ready. I trust his team to be ready. And the one thing you can say about Doug Peterson, he's had this team ready to play. If the Eagles were playing the Redskins Sunday at 1 o'clock, I would be a lot more worried about that than them playing Monday night on prime time in front of the world. Because of that, I think they'll be ready. And I think that's a good spot for them. I think they're gonna beat Washington. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think they beat Washington. Then they beat the crap out of the Niners, and they beat the crap out of Denver. So I think by that point we're going to be 8-1 going into the bye. There's no reason we should. I'm not scared of Denver. I don't like the quarterbacks.
Well, I'm not scared of them now after the Emmanuel Sanders injury. You know, I was scared going against those receivers, but now if it's just Demaryius Thomas, I'm not so scared of that anymore. You know. Yeah. Yeah, the Redskins do scare me. Again, like I said last week, and I talked about it a lot, was, you know, having a letdown now after basically everyone talking about how great you are, and we're seeing what's happening. But the Redskins are the perfect opponent for that game. I mean, you can't – how can you have a letdown?
Yeah. The
division's on the line. You're playing them for a second time. You win this game, you put a stranglehold on the division.
Yeah.
You have to show up.
You have to show up. I know the Eagles show up. And here's the other thing. A lot of times, especially in division play, you'll see teams like go on a streak. So Washington beat the Eagles, like 5 times in a row? And then usually it balances itself out. So the Eagles will get a win. Usually you might see a shift back. So now the Eagles may win 2 or 3 games in a row. That's how it kind of always goes. Unless you lose 10 to like the Giants, like back in 2001 or something like that, whatever year that was, where we had to beat the Giants. But I think being on Monday night against Washington, the Eagles, I think they'll be ready to play. I think they'll play. I think the crowd will be into it. I think it'll be crazy. And I think that they'll win. I think the advantage is them. And, you know, look, people were really going to be buying in. You think they're buying in this week? Wait till they beat Washington. It's going to be crazy mayhem. You know what I mean?
Honestly, like you said it kind of before the show, like we really should be waiting until this game to be talking about all the stuff we're talking about. But you know what? I don't care.
I don't care either. I don't play. I'm not a coach. I'm not in the front office. It's okay to talk about it. I don't think it hurts their chances at all. And for me personally, I don't get more disappointed because I believed or I talked about the Eagles. I'm going to be just as disappointed if they lose as I would if I say nothing or I say a lot. It doesn't matter to me. So why not talk about it? There's stuff here that we're in a situation we haven't been in a long, long time. And we have an opportunity, and I think it's going to go our way. I really do. I feel good about this.
I think we have to realize that this isn't crazy talk. This isn't like this is possible. This is legitimately possible that they could get a 1 or 2 seed. They really should get a 1 or 2 seed. Okay? All right, let's run through the schedule. Let's do that. I kind of did this yesterday with Tony Cotillo, the guy I had on the show.
Cotillo making pasta.
Yeah. So, you know, he and I kind of went down, and I was just like, are they really going to go 8-1 going into the bye? It's like even I'm like, man, 8-1, I'm doubting it, but it's possible, you know?
Yeah, no, I keep telling myself, am I being a total fool? Am I just totally buying this? Am I drinking the juice too much? But when you think about and you take a real look, like what's the one thing I always used to say was I can't buy into the quarterback. And because I can't buy into the quarterback, when the Eagles may start good or have a big, it would never excite me that much. But now you have a real quarterback. I think you have a real shot. I think that changes everything. So to me, I think because of who I believe Wentz is, I believe Wentz is right now the MVP of the league. Okay? I believe he's the MVP of the league. I believe he's taken such a huge step in year 2, way bigger than I ever thought, that you have to have a little bit of confidence in that. I don't think it's he's just hot and he's going to come down. I don't think it's any of that. I think this kid is that good. And I would rather have him than Mariota. I'd rather have him than Winston. I would rather have him than all those guys. And he's proven me right this year. He's done better than I thought. I had him getting 26 touchdowns. He's going to blow that out of the water.
Yeah.
So, no, because of the quarterback, I have to say that this is not unreasonable. This is not just being a total fan and drinking too much Kool-Aid and not something I just want. I think this is actually possible.
It's possible because of Carson Wentz, the schedule, Green Bay's injury, Dallas's Zeke situation. There's a lot of things that are just working in the Eagles' favor right now. And, you know.
They're undefeated in the conference. They haven't lost in the conference yet.
Yeah.
Right? If Washington beats them, it's still not over because you split with them. At worst, you split with the Redskins. So, look, I don't know what to say. This could really happen. Now, you know, I'm not saying we're going to be, you know, carrying the Lombardi Trophy off of the, you know, at the end of the year. I'm not saying all that. All I'm saying is get a bye week, and then we can talk about that. But a bye week is what's important to me.
That's kind of where I'm at right now, too. Yeah.
You know, a bye week is a week off in a home game. I'm not scared of anybody coming into Philly.
That's what I was saying in my other video, but people were telling me I was getting ahead of myself.
No, you're not getting ahead of yourself. You're right where you should be.
Are we gonna have to? Our Dingbats of the week are gonna be the entire Philadelphia Eagles fan base.
I'm going to go back to that Thursday game for mine, but that's, you know, it is what it is.
No, yeah. I'm just kidding about that.
No, but
you know, like I do think that EDP made a great video, like, you know, about staying humble and all that.
EDP.
Yeah. It might have been one of the better videos he's ever made, to be honest with you.
No, so, he's right. Like he's not wrong, and I think he's on point, and I agree with what he's saying. You know, overall, I'm not talking Super Bowl, so
no. Yeah, no one here is talking.
Yeah, so I'm not talking that, but I mean, it's not that far fetched. If you pull this game out, it's not. We're not talking about a big leap of faith to get to a 1 or 2 seed. I mean, you're talking about a team that is undefeated in the conference that would be 6-1, that would have a game against San Francisco that they got to win, a game against Denver, right? The next 3 games are at home.
Yeah.
If you take care of that, you're talking, you know, 8-1 at a bye week. So, no. If you're sitting there going, I think we're going to win the Super Bowl, we're the best team in the league and all that, then, yeah, that's what I took as what EDP was talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not go out and brag and all that. So I agree with him. I agree with what he's saying. I do. But I also think that what we're talking about is not that big of a leap.
We're talking about getting a bye and seeing what happens. And
that's it. Yeah.
And the possibilities are endless because I think the Eagles can beat anybody at home. That's what I'm kind of getting at. I haven't talked about them winning a Super Bowl. I talked about them potentially getting there because they can get home field advantage. And then once you're there, anything can happen. So, all right, so let's kind of run down the schedule. You know, it's funny because I said it 10 minutes ago. Everybody in the Eagles fan base wants us to take it one game at a time, but then those same people will ask me, what do you think the Eagles will finish record-wise? So it's kind of hypocritical, but, you know, whatever. All right, so we'll kind of run down this slate, and we'll kind of see where we go. So Redskins, Niners, Broncos. Are they really going to be 8-1? I guess we're going to say that they are, because I have them beating the Redskins. And with the Broncos now without Emmanuel Sanders, I think they're beatable. And the 49ers, they're 0-6, and I don't think they'd beat us either.
I would say if you beat Washington, you're probably going to go 8-1 because Denver does not scare me. I don't think Denver is a good road team. I don't think they're the same team that they would be at home. So, yes, I would say you are 8-1 if you beat the Redskins. But the Redskin game is the key. So, yeah. So, let's say 8-1.
God, if they go 8-1 heading into the bye, then they really should go 12-4 easy.
If they go 8-1 and then they don't come out with a bye week, to me, heads got to roll because you have to lose most of your games to be in a position where you're like 10-6 sneaking into the playoffs. Yeah. You have to have a bye week. Otherwise, something went drastically wrong.
So coming out of the bye, it's at Dallas, which might be what that is. What's going on with that? Is Zeke suspended? What the fuck?
Technically, he's suspended right now. Now, I don't know if what he can do, like from a law standpoint, but technically, yeah, he's suspended. I believe the next game after the bye. I'm sure they'll do some court stuff or whatever, try to get. I mean, who knows with all that crap? I don't know, but you know, I want to see Dak Prescott play without him because he's. I hate Dak Prescott. I hate the Cowboys. I hate talking about that stupid team. I hate them. Sorry, I just had to get out. I'm just so sick of Dallas.
It's okay. Psychology 101 here on the Bitter Birds. So Cowboys, I think they'd win. So that's 9-1. And then you're looking at the Bears at home. That's 10-1. Like, oh, it's too good to be true, man.
So they got Dallas, and then who do they have?
The Bears at home.
So that's I mean, okay, let's give Dallas a win. So let's do it. So let's say the Eagles come back flat on the bye week.
All right, we'll give them a loss because they are going to lose one of these games. Like they're not going to go. I don't think they're going to go 14-2 or 3. I think that's just
no. I don't either.
So all right, so we'll say they're 9-2 heading into Seattle. Right. So and we talked about this. Seattle and LA, I think they'll split.
I agree.
If they beat Seattle, they'll have a letdown the next week against the Rams. If they lose to Seattle, they'll beat the Rams.
Great. So that's
3 losses.
So that's 3 losses.
And your final 3 games are at the Giants, Raiders at home. They look like they stink. And the Cowboys at home in Week 17 where who knows what that goes.
Okay. So I think they beat the Giants because I already predicted, and this isn't a reach, I predicted in the spring that I guaranteed a sweep. So I believe that was going to happen. So they're going to beat the Giants. Then they're going to beat Oakland. That Oakland game may be clinch first seed, clinch second seed bye. It's going to be something like that. It's going to be something meaningful, and it's going to be mayhem. On Christmas, the Eagles are going to tear them up.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine? My wish list on Christmas, I might get something.
I think Dingbat Claus is coming to town. Dingbat Claus is coming to town that night.
They're going to be, what, 12-3? Is this really possible? Oh, my God. Look at how we're talking right now. This is ridiculous.
We're talking like a bunch of drunk dingbats.
But this isn't crazy either.
No, it's not crazy. But I really think it all is based on everything springboard off of this game. This is the game where if they win this game, I think they control everything. I just do. But if they lose this game, it may be not. It's not out of the woods. They're not out of the woods. It's just going to be a harder trip. I just think if they beat Washington, we're talking 8-1. Let's say they lost the so they would be they should finish 12-4. I mean, that's a reasonable expectation. 12-4 is a 1 or 2 seed. I mean, Atlanta's got 2 losses already.
Yep.
What does Seattle have? 2?
2 losses.
LA's got what? 1 or 2?
2. We're the only team with 1 loss in the NFC.
So basically, I mean, we're almost there. It is. It's crazy. I mean, you got to stay healthy. Everybody's got to stay healthy. Everything has to fall into place. But schedule-wise, the way things are going, I think the Eagles are in a great position. And I'm going to say this. I don't sweat Atlanta. I think Atlanta is in a Super Bowl hangover. I mean, the way they lost the Super Bowl, to me, they haven't looked right all year. They almost lost to Chicago. Then they lose to Buffalo. Then they lose to Miami. Atlanta usually doesn't lose at home. They're losing at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just think that was a hard way to lose. I mean, I think they're struggling. Tampa doesn't look nearly what I thought. There's no chemistry there yet. They may get hot later and become dangerous. Like, I could see them getting hot when they get chemistry because they got new guys, and then they become like one of those teams that come in that have nothing to lose in the playoffs. You know, they could be a dangerous team. And then I think Carolina is still one of the better teams.
The Rams are the one team that I will keep my eye on, because, like, going back to 1999 where you just had teams coming out of nowhere, maybe that's the team. I still think at the end of the day they're like a 10-6, one and done kind of team, but we'll see. I mean, I talked about, holes on teams, and like the Rams, when you really look at them, there's not much actually, but I feel like the Eagles have less holes. The Eagles have less holes than any team in the NFC. I mean, you look at Atlanta, their offense is struggling without Kyle Shanahan. I am curious to see how they bounce back though, because some of their losses, like, because I watched the game last night between them and Miami, and once again, Matt Ryan threw a pick, but it's like he's got 6 picks on the season, but 4 of them have come on deflection. So it's like they're kind of getting unlucky.
Yeah.
Against Buffalo, they had that scoop fumble return for a score when it was it should have been a incomplete pass. And then against Miami, the way Miami won that game, the only way I can describe it, it was like how the Dolphins beat the Eagles a couple years ago. Remember when they came into Philly? Yeah. And it was like the Eagles got off to that huge lead, and then they just let their foot off the gas. And then by the time the game was over, it was like, holy shit, we lost.
Yeah,
that's what happened with Atlanta yesterday or Sunday.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on Atlanta, but by God, they play New England this week. They still got to play Seattle. I mean, they might not make the playoffs. Shit. I don't know. Carolina would be another team. But I think the holes that they have, they have holes in the secondary. Their secondary is worse than ours, and they have O-line problems. They can't run the ball. So every team has its flaws, and the Eagles kind of have the least amount of them.
I would like to see how Wentz would play Carolina again, having gone back and studied and watched the blitzes, watched the things he missed. I would be interested because I think they would come at him the same way, and he would be ready for it, and he would tear them up. Because I think if he could have had more time, you would have seen him take more shots downfield at that secondary. I mean, part of the reason why they were blitzing him was because they know their secondary was vulnerable. They didn't want to give him time to set up downfield. So I think that I would like to see that in a way. But, of course, Carolina would have to come in Philly. I think my rankings in the NFC conference are Eagles 1 right now, and I'm putting Seattle 2 only because I respect Russell Wilson. I think that he's dangerous. I think they're dangerous. And then
pun intended, dangerous.
Dangerous. And then I actually have Washington number 3. I think Washington is
I like the Reds behind more than other people.
Yeah. So and then I would probably go Carolina after Washington. So I mean that's kind of my top 4. I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta falls and it's just too much. They lose too many games. You know how guys get when things don't go your way, things don't bounce your way. You lose a couple hard games. Sometimes, man, it's just the way it goes. And then guys start to check out, and then you lose, and it kind of goes from there. So Atlanta, to me, I think is going to miss the playoffs. Just from
Seattle #2, I like that. Washington, and then I'd probably throw the Rams in there after, because the reason why I picked the Redskins over the Redskins already went to LA and beat the Rams. So I think the Rams are good. The Rams are a trendy pick. A lot of people are like all up on the Rams, but I've watched all their games, and I'll tell you what, Jared Goff isn't playing as good as people say he is. I think his accuracy in the pocket isn't like Wentz's. I think Sean McVay is just doing an outstanding job.
I like Sean McVay.
Yeah, and I think the biggest key for them is picking up Andrew Whitworth during the offseason, because they had no offensive line last year. Jared Goff had no protection. So now you have an offensive line. Now you have a running game because Gurley is able to do his thing. So we're seeing a situation kind of like what Dallas was last year. Not the same offensive line, obviously, but you have a great running back, and it's making Jared Goff look a lot better than he is.
Yeah, and he's got some weapons. Going out and getting Watkins. He may start to get more chemistry with Watkins later in the year too. So I do think the Rams are one of those teams that will play you and stay in the game because of their running game, because of the way that they control the ball. They will stay in the game. They'll keep it close. So yeah, I do think that they are pretty good. But Washington did. Washington went in there and they beat them.
Yeah.
Right now, this Washington game is bigger than the Carolina game. The Carolina game put us in a position to play this Washington game. This Washington game, to me, tells you where the Eagles are going to go. Because if the Eagles win this, I don't see, like we were talking, I don't see how you go to the bye week not 8-1. I just can't. I just can't imagine them losing to Denver or San Francisco. And I would be kind of pissed off if they lost to San Francisco. The Denver one you could survive because it's out of conference.
Yeah.
But
I can see us losing to Denver. I'm not gonna lie.
Really? I guess, man, maybe I just don't like their quarterback. I don't like their offense.
It's their defense. It's their defense.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be the toughest defense Carson Wentz sees all year.
Yeah, it will.
That's why. I mean, but I think we win. It might be an ugly game. It might be like 16-13 or like something like that. But it's. I don't think it'll be as easy as people think. That's
right. Yeah. No. Well,
but think about this. It's like we're saying Seattle is the second best team in the conference, and I was poking fun at them the other day in my video. Like, who's going to beat the Eagles? Seattle.
Right.
They're going to be Seattle. Like, the Seattle team is not what they are. They're down. Like, every team in the NFC is down.
Yeah.
And that's why they need to take advantage. Seattle, no O-line. Like, you should be able to just attack Russell Wilson all game. He scrambles for his life for whenever Seattle has the ball and they're throwing a pass. He's always scrambling for his life.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. No. I have no idea why they did nothing to address that O-line. I have no idea why. They have no Marshawn Lynch anymore, so they have no running game.
Yeah.
They're trying to find a running game. They're switching between Thomas Rawls. You had Chris Carson get hurt, and now Eddie Lacy's back to being their starter. It's like, yeah. So you got Big Mac as your starter, fat fuck. So I didn't mean to curse. Sorry. Now we're not going to get monetized.
I don't get monetized anyways. Yeah,
YouTube's all screwed up.
But yeah, I mean, maybe I give Seattle too much credit. I might. I just expect them to get hot at some point because it seems like they always do. But maybe they won't. I don't know. But if you take Seattle out of it, there's nobody. I mean, I'm not scared of anybody in the NFC, especially if they have to come into Philly. That's why I'm saying get the top 2 seed, get a bye week, and get a home playoff game. Then we can talk about everything else. But a top 2 seed is very, very, very possible. Very possible.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know.
All right. We'll kind of move on to do a quick little. You want to get a little Sixers talk in here, or you want to keep it?
Yeah, Sixers fine.
The Sixers start tomorrow.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait. Not just because they start tomorrow, but because the NBA Pass doesn't play like half of the preseason games. So I was been blocked out for like a week. What the hell am I paying? What the hell am I paying for? So I get to watch the game finally. So I'm just excited to see them. You know what I mean? I did watch one of the games, and I got to say, Fultz's shot scares the hell out of me. What the hell happened to that shot? It looks screwy. You know what I mean? But look, I think the Sixers are a playoff team. I think they go as Embiid goes. If Embiid somehow can stay healthy, just please stay healthy. They're going to be tough.
Yeah, I meant to talk about a team. I forgot to. There is like one wild card team that I would be scared of to play at home.
Okay.
And it's because of their quarterback. I don't want to play the Saints, really. That might sound crazy, but I don't think it is. Think about what beats us. Quick 3-step passing game. Drew Brees, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Bread and butter.
No,
their defense stinks, though. So that's going to be a game where you're going to go back and forth offenses up and down the field.
Yeah.
But, that's another team. Like that's why Washington kind of scares me.
Yeah, and they got good running game, too, The thing with the Saints, though, I always feel like they're one of those teams like Atlanta that are not the same team on the road as they are at home. That's probably my feeling. Like, if the Saints have to go to Philly, I think that the Eagles take care of them. If they had to go to New Orleans, that would worry me. That would worry me a lot.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Maybe people would disagree with me because, like, the Saints haven't been good in a while, but I don't like playing Drew Brees. Drew Brees always seems to pick us apart, even though that one game we had against them a couple years ago, we destroyed them. But
we owe them.
Maybe the haunting memories of that wild card game are coming back to me, but that's a team I don't want to play Drew Brees.
No, I hear you. I hear you. It's not going to be. Yeah, maybe I underestimate some of these teams on the road. When I look at the Saints and I look at the defense on the road, I always try to think of the weather, the situation. I just think the Eagles take care of them. But yeah, I mean, hey.
I do too. I mean, I'm trying to find teams,
Yeah.
Who do I think I think they would pose a threat?
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. But that's why we get back to why it's so important to get a home field advantage, because everything changes when you have home field. I mean, one week off, then one home game, just winning that one game, you're in the NFC Championship game. So you got to get that top 2 seed. The top 2 seed is where we have to go. And then, somebody's going to have to come to Philly and play them. Somebody's going to have to come, whether it's Drew Brees, whether it's Cam Newton, whether it's Russell Wilson, whether it's Stafford. Somebody's coming to play us. So we'll deal with that then. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm looking at that Saints game on Sunday. They got up like 45-14 against Detroit.
Yeah.
So this Saints team might be better than people think. We'll see. I know that they're a team that's been trying to draft defensive players now for a couple years, and it hasn't really panned out for them. They tried to trade Jimmy Graham to get defense, but we'll see. That might be a team that's like a 6 seed, and would maybe they sneak past someone in a wild card game, and then you would play them as a 1 seed. That's the kind of scenario that I'm kind of seeing play out.
Yeah, no, I hear you. They're one of those teams you might be scary to play. I hear what you're saying. I feel you.
Yeah. All right, we will move on to the Sixers. Just some quick Sixers talk, and kind of discuss where we kind of think they're going and predict where they finish in the conference. Kyle and I had the preview last night. We're thinking like 4, 5, 6 seed. I think that's a realistic possibility. Just hopefully Embiid stays healthy.
I agree. I think I'm somewhere right around there too. Now if Embiid stays healthy, I mean he's not going to play. I don't know how many games. Did they say how many games they'd like him to play this year?
Not games per se, but I know that he's going to be on a minutes restriction to start the season in the teens. They said.
Oh, really? In the teens?
Yeah, in the teens, and he only played 2 games last year, less than 20 minutes.
Can you imagine if this kid played 30 minutes a game? I mean, I didn't get to see the last game. I guess was it? Who did they play the last preseason? Was it
They played the Heat. I saw all 5 preseason games.
I mean, dude, he's a monster. Yeah. He is unbelievable. I mean, he averages like a point a minute, right? So, I mean, to me, if he's healthy, I don't know how quick they could ascend to like a championship level. But I think in 2 or 3 years, if you had a healthy Embiid, he would be a top 3 player in the league. I really believe that.
I agree.
And anything, you win. He's the kind of guy you win 3, 4, 5 championships if he stays healthy. Now, I think that they can be probably anywhere from 4 to 6 seed is where I think that they'll be too. I think and I have Ben Simmons. I predicted he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I'm sticking to that. Yeah. And the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is Fultz. Now, just seeing that shot, you know what I mean, and then the struggles he's had in summer, summer games and stuff, and he got hurt. I just hope it's not like a mental thing with him. You know what I mean? I hope he's okay. I hope he's who he's supposed to be.
Yeah. I think it's good that he's coming off the bench. I think that's good for him. So to start out the year, because I watched the first game between he and Ben on the floor at the same time, and I'll tell you what, Fultz has to figure out how to play without the ball, because he looks more comfortable when he has it. But when the Sixers are going to have the ball, it's going to be Ben Simmons bringing it up the floor, not Fultz. So that's what he's going to have to learn, at the next level. How do I play without the ball in my hands? And, it's going to take some time. I think people forget that sometimes, too. It's like not everyone pans out right away. Maybe he's a bust. Maybe he's not. Who the hell knows? I don't think he's going to be a bust. I think people are quick to judge, because he had that one preseason game. People were saying Evan Turner. Stop it. I'll tell you what, his shot looks uglier than Evan Turner right now.
What the hell did they do? I don't even understand. It's horrible. I said, what the hell is he doing? I thought it was like Bill Cartwright.
That's a good one, Bill Cartwright.
Remember Bill Cartwright's free throws?
Oh, yeah. You go back.
Oh, that used to drive me nuts. But yeah, I don't know. Did they try to fix it, or is it because his shoulders hurt, or what?
I don't know.
It looks ugly.
We're gonna see him Wednesday. So,
I mean, to me, there's nothing smooth about that. That looks so awkward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I'm not gonna panic over Fultz 1 year. You got to give him time.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited to see the Sixers. I haven't been able to see them in preseason because they've been blacking it out here, or it's just not covered. So I'm really looking forward to watching them tomorrow. So I think that with the Sixers and with the Eagles, I mean, even with the Flyers too, and the Philly, I mean, all our teams are on the ascent.
Yes.
So we're going to have a lot of things to be looking forward to over the next few years.
I agree.
I'm excited, man.
All right, it's time for our Dingbat of the week. We got.
I got the referees in that Carolina game. I
that was gonna be mine too. That was an easy one. But.
So that they should just get both of them. They did the award because that was the most horrendous thing I've ever seen. I mean, dude, these guys should never work an Eagles game again, ever. I don't want to see them in the playoffs. I don't want to see them because that was brutal. That was so bad.
Sorry to cut you off. I brought up the comments. What's that Dingbat alert system that you have?
The emergency Dingbat emergency broadcast system.
Well, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to use it because somebody's saying ridiculous shit. I'm putting him in a timeout.
Put him a timeout, give him a diaper, give him a bottle, give him a bib, and stick him in the corner. You dingbat. You come and you act like a moron on his live chat. You dingbat, get in the corner. You're in a timeout. There you go.
All right. So he is in a timeout for 300 seconds. Hopefully he learns his lesson.
Yeah.
So I agree with whoever said in the comments, let's stick to sports. Please. Please. Yes. You know?
Exactly.
All right. Dingbat of the week. Pete Morelli. Yes. Keep going.
Pete Morelli and crew. I was very upset about that. I mean, I know a lot of people were, and this is not the first time they've screwed us over. So don't want to see them again. They're the clear dingbats of the week. And even though they tried to screw us, we came out on top. So they didn't even succeed at what they wanted. They wanted to screw us, and they still lost. So they're dingbats.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know who I want dingbat of the week to be. I was gonna go Pete Morelli. Who do I go with? I mean, I did have a commenter yesterday that, you know, said that my shit is weak, said that 2K was easy, and then I proceeded to tell him, all right, well then make your own videos. Let's see how easy 2K is. And he backed down.
He backed down, huh?
Yeah, you were reading the comments. You were laughing your ass off.
Yeah, it was a good war going on.
It was a one-sided war. I freaking owned him. Pistol whipping got whipped. He got whipped. You know, like, well, that's the thing. You know, he every film study that we had, he would come after Brendan. I don't know why. Brendan is smart as hell, all right? And he knows 100 times more football than this guy. But this guy every week has to come on this show and is like, oh, Brendan stinks, da-da-da, da-da-da. So I finally called him out on it. I was like, all right, you make some videos. Let's see how smart you are. And he backed down like a bitch.
It's not easy making videos, man. And I did the one show with Brendan and you where we talked about the 91 Eagles defense. So I liked Brendan. He was very nice to me, and I thought he knew a lot about what he was talking about. So I enjoy those film studies. I watch every one of them. So
Brendan is very humble, and you know, I finally felt the need to stick up for him because he doesn't really care what you say. Like he understands. He knows how much he knows, and other people are going to be jealous because of that. He knows this. He's not stupid. You know, he doesn't like to brag that he's worked with NFL players. He doesn't like to.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then this guy's calling him like a fraud and like, stop.
Right.
Stop. Just jealous because he knows more football than you. And then when I called you out on your football knowledge, you backed down. You backed down. That's why you got to be like Tom Petty. Don't ever back down.
Yeah. Died, but you know that he died? That's a shame.
I know.
Dude, I saw him at Contenders.
It's actually one of my favorites. I love that song, Free Fallin'.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw him live. It was years ago in DC.
Yeah.
But yeah. Look, you know, I don't know. I don't know what his issues were with him. I just know that
section now. How did I back down from making videos when I said I was making videos?
Is he here?
Dude, you said that you're smarter than me. Then fucking prove it, motherfucker.
Where's the gloves?
He can't
the gloves. We
nothing.
This is a fight. This is a world championship fight live streaming, baby. We got both guys. Let's go. Is he here?
Now he's not saying anything. He thought I wasn't going to go back to the comments.
This is great. This is live.
Prove to me you know football. Stop it with the name calling. You're resorting to name calling because you can't hang with me. You can't hang with me. Come on. Let's see the football knowledge. Come on. You say you're smarter than me and Brendan combined. Come on. Make some videos. Come on. You fucking bitch.
It's not easy making videos. It's definitely work. It's hard work. Put a lot of work into that, you know. What do you mean 2K? Are you talking about the subs?
Huh?
Oh, I got it. You okay?
I hate people who talk and then back down.
Yeah.
You know? Damn. I gotta calm down.
Calm down. Take a breath. Relax. Get some air.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm not worried about him.
No, look. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I watch. All I can say is I watch every one of those film reviews. I did a show with him, and he was very nice and he was very knowledgeable. And I enjoyed doing that whole debate we had with the Baltimore, and I thought that was fun. That's all I can say. I can't speak. I don't know what he doesn't like about him or what. You'd have to ask him. But I guess he's here, so.
See, I want to fight you, homie. You can keep this internet YouTube shit because it's Philadelphia on mine. He has to resort back to the fighting tactics because he can't hang with me in a football conversation. Did you see how it keeps resorting back to that?
Yep.
He has said nothing about football. He wants to fight. He doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to talk football because he would get abused.
Is this not the best show on YouTube or what?
Well, I mean, like, stop saying you're knowledgeable and then can't prove it.
Right.
And then you want to fight because I'm embarrassing you. I'm exposing you. You're a fraud. Stop going on other videos, talk about how much you know, and then you can't prove it. I exposed you, bitch.
I wish I had the comments up. I really want to know what's being said.
Well, he has no football knowledge, but he says he does.
Is he still on the thing? Yo, Pistol Whip, are you still here?
He's just he's embarrassing himself.
Oh man.
Well, what was the one thing you said? Like, he says pistol whipping, but you know he's probably got a fucking 2-inch dick.
That was me and him got into it a long time ago, but I think we're okay now. So
he goes through mood swings. He's like a fucking.
Me and him had disagreements in the past, but I think we're okay now. But I don't know what the issue with Brandon is. You have to ask him.
I know what the issue is. He's jealous because he knows more football than he does.
Yeah.
Why else would you feel the need to hate? Hatred is fueled by jealousy.
Ooh, doctor.
Well, I did take some psychology. I'm reading him like a book. So, all right. We'll kind of finish this show. That's about it. So we had our Dingbat of the week. We had all that. You got final thought?
My final thoughts are, besides me loving the whole yelling in the comments, that was great, by the way. Redskin game, biggest game of the year, sets everything up that we're talking about. If you don't win this game, it's not the end of the world, but this game clearly puts us where we need to be. And that's my final thoughts.
Yeah. It's funny because the one guy that defended pistol whipping was the guy that I put in a timeout. And I put him in a timeout. Is that pistol whipping's burner account?
Is that what they call it? Is that what it is?
A burner account?
Oh, man. I don't know. I think that Brendan's great.
He wants to fight me because I exposed him and I embarrassed him.
Brendan's great. That's all I can say. I enjoy those breakdowns. So, Pistol, man, relax, buddy. It's all good.
Well, that's the problem. If you disagree with him one thing, all of a sudden you're an idiot.
Yeah.
So, hey, look, if he wants to be jealous of Brendan, that's fine. Whatever. That's it. I'm not going to let him troll the channel anymore. All right. With that being said, that's Philly 500. I'm Adrian. Thank you. Peace out.
Bye.